Yo, 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 Shalom, Shalom.
Whoa.
Hey,
Shalom.
we want to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shah. We want to thank Him for another day to teach His word. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we missed last week, but hey, you know how it be. Sometimes it happens, you know. But I'm Oswald Haya.
Khan, all praise to the Most High, brother Mathanya, man. Good to be back with y'all, man.
Khan, Shalom, Yasharala, brother Abadafi.
Khan. And so yeah, we're gonna touch on a couple topics tonight. It may not be a long class, but we're gonna let the spirit move, So let's go ahead and get off into this first clip, get right to it.
Hey y'all, it's Sade from Second Chance Love, and I had just did a video, and I wanted to piggyback off that video. Yes, I need real people, real conversations in my comments. I need y'all to let's talk about it. Let's understand love better. Let's be a teacher in the game. Let's give each other support. If you coming across Second Chance Love and you know you struggle in a relationship, you struggle with love, you struggle with trying to figure it out, you dated multiple people, you had relationships with multiple people, different sexes, and it didn't work out, let's talk about different things on why it didn't work out. Let's talk about how we sacrificed so many things and put in all the work and it didn't work out. I think overall, I'm trying to create a group, a support system, people that.
Okay, so first and foremost, all right, y'all see the topic. It says, "Is it okay to forgive your wife if she cheated?" Right. And that's I titled it that way based on what we're about to talk about. But really, in a sense, it's really speaking on this situation that she's talking about. So basically, ultimately, her and her husband, and I was trying to find on a page or whatever. I was trying to find a good video where they kind of explain it, but most of their stuff is like it's pictures, and so it's not videos. But basically, her and her husband was married, and so that's why they channel on TikTok is called Second Chance Love. They was married, they got a divorce, and was divorced 15 years and got back together. So, and I said, is it okay to forgive your wife if she cheated? Basically saying if she slept with somebody else is ultimately what we're going off into. Can y'all get back together if y'all don't divorced each other, slept with other people, and then can y'all get back together? He said even if the husband forgives her for cheating, even if the husband forgives her for cheating, the marriage is dead in the eyes of the Most High. Okay, cool. Good perspective. All right, so and Shalom, everyone. Shalom. So, okay, so her and her husband got back together after 15 years. And so she's talking about it. She said she's trying to create a space where if y'all done got a divorce and y'all done went and slept with other people and did this and did that, is it lawful? Because anyway, is it lawful for you to do that? All right, so let her talk a little bit more.
Don't feel like or don't feel comfortable with talking to, I guess, the people around them, or you feel like some people just can't relate to your conversation, because nowadays we don't have the real. We have everybody just trying to pretend and make things look like. So Second Chance Love is a couple that came back together after 15 years and we was divorced. And now it's real life. Like, we trying to figure it out. We trying to find out what works, what don't work. Dating more, dealing with trauma, and dealing with all the things that we didn't get right. And now we trying to get it right. So we're talking to older couples. We're talking to
Okay, so they got divorced, got back together, and they trying to get it right this time. Okay. Um, you already know, Judite. We about to get to it. Let's go do around 24. And we're gonna start at verse 1. We're gonna start at verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, verse 1. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanliness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house.
So we touched on this last class where this the bill of divorce, you know what I'm saying, and y'all get a divorce. If you got a lawful reason, you can divorce your wife for fornication, right? And you can send her out of the house, or y'all basically divorce and separate, right? Keep reading.
And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
So she may go and be another man's wife if she is divorced lawfully, which is for fornication purposes, right? If you, because meaning in the New Testament, this is from like now, it has to be based on just fornication, and really still, to be honest with you, back then, around the time of Deuteronomy 24, around that time, brothers were just getting rid of their wives for so many different reasons. But now it has to be based on fornication. All right. So anyway, they say y'all divorced. She going about her business, right? It says she can be another man's wife. Keep reading.
And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and giveth it in her hand and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife.
So stop right there real quick. So verse 3 is key. It says, and if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement. Now meaning if the next husband gives her a bill of divorce and giveth it in her hand and send her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife. Why is it saying that? Because really the only time a woman can leave her husband is if the husband dies. That's really the only lawful, for real, for the most part, reason that a wife can leave her husband. All right. So it's making a note. So now this woman is free. She's back single. She's a widow. She's single. So that's why it's touching on this topic right here. Right? Keep reading in verse 4.
God, I started over. Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife.
He made what?
He may not take her again to be his wife.
Mm-hmm.
After that, she is defiled. For that is abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance.
Okay, so it says, if you give her a bill of divorce and she goes and lays with another dude, get another husband, and then they get a divorce, you can't get back with her. Once your woman to lay with somebody else, you can't get back with her, is what they're saying. Because that's defilement. That's an abomination. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you double dipping. Now, did y'all have any precepts? Did y'all want to say anything before I continue on?
Yeah, man. This is important, man, because and I'm not sure where you're going with this, other one, but to be honest, she's committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason. That's the true reason why she's defiled. I'm not sure. I don't want to step on your toes or nothing.
No, do your thing.
But to be honest, if that's why, laying down with someone and marrying someone is so important, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's one of the most precious things that the Most High looks at above all. You know what I'm saying? And even if you having issues or whatever, man, you're supposed to be separate. I mean, you could be separate to the but the Most High still wants you to reconcile. Paul spoke about that in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I'm sure you probably heard that. But yeah, man, I don't want to necessarily step on your shoes, man. But this is important, man. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta. And this
I would say if you bring it out, or I bring it out, as long as it come out, it don't matter.
And this something that we don't take serious. This something that, and I'm gonna just put it out there and be honest with you know, this something that we don't take serious in the world, and it's something that hasn't been taken serious in the Israelite community as well. You know what I'm saying? But really, laying down and marrying somebody is serious business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's serious business, man, and we gotta put the defilement, the whoredom, and the adultery out of Israel, man, because the Most High hate that, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let I don't want to lead the way on that 1 Corinthians chapter 7 whenever it come out.
Con. All right, so what we just touched on Deuteronomy 24. For good reason, which is fornication, you give your wife a bill of divorcement and y'all divorce, right? It says she gonna be another man's wife, but you can't get her back after she became another man's wife. So let's go ahead and go to 1 Corinthians 7 real quick. Like I said, we touched on all this last class, but which was 2 weeks ago. But we trying to elaborate on some points because you know I was asked a couple questions about this.
Hey, Shalakia too, man. For the record, man, I want to, you know, whether it come from me or whoever, man, but you know, for the record, man, the woman supposed to be with one man her whole life. Man.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, we understand what's going on and you know, the land of confusion that we're in. But that's how serious the Most High took the daughters of Zion and how precious, you know, her womb and her body was, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it's supposed to be, man. But I yield, King.
Yeah. That's ultimately what's supposed to happen. Every woman's supposed to be with one man their whole life. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's the reason why it touches on the fact of if her husband were to die. Because ultimately that was for the most part the only reason, the main reason that a woman could leave her husband, you know, if he died. But anyway, let's go to 1 Corinthians 7 and verse let's go ahead and go to verse 10.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 10. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband.
Right. It says, let not the wife depart from her husband. Because, matter of fact, read the next verse.
Hey, King. And Paul clearly said, these ain't my words.
Right.
These the Most High words.
Yeah, right.
This ain't me speaking.
Matter of fact, I'm glad you pointed that out. Let's go to Galatians chapter 1 and verse 11 real quick to elaborate that point. So Paul basically said these ain't my words, right? Go to Galatians 1.
I get that out, but if you want to stay at Corinthians, King.
Yeah, I got it though.
Okay, go ahead.
The book of Galatians chapter 1 verse 11. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man.
Is that the what?
The gospel that was preached to me is not after man.
Preached of me is not after man, meaning he don't come with his own doctrine. He ain't making up his own doctrine. So people run to Paul thinking that Paul done created Paul is telling you can eat pork. People run to Paul thinking that he's saying something different than Christ saying, and anybody else is saying. Paul didn't come with his own doctrine. It sounds like that because you're unlearned. According to 2 Peter 3 and 15, let's go to 2 Peter 3 and 15 real quick. Let's read that. So Paul's saying he didn't come with his own doctrine. The doctrine that he come with is not of man. And he's a man. So it's not his own doctrine. Right? Bring out what you got, King.
This right here. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction.
Right. This is it says as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as meaning like they wrestle with, as they do also the other scriptures unto their own destruction. The unlearned deal with Paul's letters like it's saying something different than what Yahweh Shai is saying. Ask these Christians to teach you what they believe, and they run into Paul because they think Paul's saying something different. Galatians 1, Paul said, hey, this doctrine ain't of me. This is not of man. This doctrine that I'm preaching is not of man. So who it come from? It come from the Most High through Yahweh Shai. So he ain't making up some stuff, right? All right, so let's go back to 1 Corinthians 7. He ain't making up his own doctrine.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. No, Shalaki, chapter 7, verse 10. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband. But and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife.
Right. So it says, why does it say, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband? Meaning, unless you sleep with somebody else, that's still your husband. You still belong to that man. You still his wife. Right? So it says, let them be reconciled. Okay, if she do, which he says in the prior verse, don't separate. Don't do it. Don't do that. But if she want to be rebellious and do it anyway, okay, cool. Go separate, but then come back to your husband. Right? Okay. It says, and let not the husband put away his wife, right? Let me see. Con. So then read the next verse, King.
Verse 12. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
So, just like Mathania here pointed out the fact, he said in verse 10 that it's not me saying this, right? This comes from the Lord, right? But then he says right here in this verse that he says, but to the rest speak I, not the Lord. So now he's saying with his own words in this verse, right? He says, if any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. Meaning that's not a commandment that if your wife is an unbeliever, that you got to deal with what comes with that. Right? That's basically him using his own words. It's not him coming with a different doctrine. He's letting you know off top, look, this is how this is my opinion on it, but we do know that Paul had the Holy Spirit. So he is giving good advice, right? But he's saying this ain't a commandment. You can't find this in the OT. You can't find this in the Torah. I'm just saying, it says, but to the rest, I speak, I, not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. Why? Because if she don't have the faith, but she is submissive, then why would you get rid of her? If she's doing her duties as a wife, why would you get rid of her? Right? Her belief is lacking. Right? But anyway, going back to the topic. So,
hey, Salaki, and if she's submissive, she may come around.
Exactly. Because see, really and truly, if she's submissive, it's like you can't control what's inside your wife's head. You can't control what she's thinking, right? But if she's submissive and she listens, she's doing she's playing her role. She's doing what she's supposed to do. Because that's a wife's job. A wife's job is to be a wife to her husband, right? That's in her being a wife to her husband, to a godly man. She would, in the end, basically she would basically be a godly woman. Because notice the Proverbs 31 woman, right? In Proverbs 31, you don't see the woman, the Proverbs 31, you don't see nothing being mentioned of the sister shouting around the church, praying and fasting. You don't see teaching, going to the congregation. You don't see nothing about how she serves the Lord. You don't see nothing about how the Proverbs 31 woman serves the Lord at all. All it's talking about is how she serves her husband and her household. So if your wife is submissive to you and she listens and she's doing what you need her to do, she's being a godly woman in that sense. Her faith is that's between her and God. Her faith, you can't control what's in her head, but her actions, her fruits that she bear, as long as she's doing what she's supposed to do, she's ultimately fulfilling her duties as a wife. That's what she's doing. She's fulfilling her duties as a wife. That's why Paul is saying that. He's saying you can't find this in the law, but I'm telling you, out of wisdom, if she's willing to be a good wife to you, why would you separate from her? Why would you get rid of her? Right? So ultimately, going back to the topic. It says, okay, so in Deuteronomy 24, it was talking about how you can give her a bill of divorce. She go be with go get another husband, and you can't get back with her. Right? 1 Corinthians 7 is letting us know that, hey, okay, cool. Don't separate. But if y'all separate, get back together. You can't go lay with another man just because y'all separated. Y'all got upset, mad, and everything else. You can't do that. And so this sister on this second chance love, they got a divorce. 15 years later, got back together. What are they? Defiled. That's it in Deuteronomy 24. That was defilement. That's an abomination to do that. People, we do understand though. Now this is the thing, right? We do understand though that since Yahushua came unalived and rose again, you have grace, so you can forgive. Right? You have the capacity to forgive your wife for cheating. You have that capacity. But does that mean that it's still that it's not an abomination? And people would say, well, that's her sleeping with somebody, not getting married to somebody. You didn't give her a bill of divorce. Let's go to Deuteronomy 22.
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 22. All right, and I'm sure most of us already know what I'm about to bring out, but let's touch on this real quick, just in case that question arises. Well, that's not you giving her a bill of divorce. That's her going to sleep with somebody. All right, let's deal with this. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 28.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothal, Slakia, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he
Mhm.
have humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
You can't put that woman away all your days because you humbled her when you laid with her. When you lay with her, you humble her, so you cannot put her away all your days. So if she goes and lays with another man, what did that man do? He humbled her. If you can't put her away because she was a virgin when you seen it, and now you lay with her, and just disregard the virgin situation, because this just applies if the woman is a single woman and you lay with her, this applies. You got to keep that woman. So ultimately, like I said, we don't teach that. We don't promote just laying with a woman and then doing it that way. We promote going to the Father. But if you lay with her, the scripture says you got to keep it. That's your wife, bro. That's you. So if that's your wife because you laid with her, right? And another brother laid with her, he's reenacting what you did with her. They basically doing the same thing that you and her did. So ultimately, you supposed to cut her off.
Right.
Because she done made this commitment to another man now. This same commitment that she made with you, she made it with another dude. Because they laid together. A man and woman come together and be as one during what? Sex.
Let's get that too, King. Genesis 2:24.
To bring it up.
Just to land me back off your point, man. To bring further edification. Hey, shalom too to our brothers and sisters, man.
Yo, shalom. Shalom.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
See that?
Good, you can elaborate, King.
Khan. So shoot, he already one flesh with you. You know what I'm saying? You already one flesh with him. You finna go over here and try to be. No, it don't work like that. That's confusion, man. Mm-hmm. Can't nobody do that but the man. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no equality with God. Right. The man has his role and the things that the Most High ordained for him, and the woman has her role. Now, that's not to say that the man is better than the woman or the woman is better than the man, but they all have their role that the Most High created for them for His purpose. They're both important. They're both important. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High didn't get it for the woman. She become one flesh with this man. That's her husband for the rest of her life, unless he passes away, as the other one was bringing up. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Most High ordained. So this has been from the beginning. Even Christ taught that, right? That when a man and woman leave their father's and mother's house, they shall become one flesh. Mm-hmm. Christ taught that they supposed to be one flesh forever until the end, until, you know what I'm saying, one of them passes away. I believe that's Matthew 19, verse 5. I believe we ain't got to get it, you know what I'm saying, but I believe that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I yield with that, King.
We can read that. Matthew 19, verse I'm gonna start at verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And said, for this cause shall man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. But therefore God has joined together, let not man put asunder.
So it can't be asunder. It can't be pulled. You can't, as sister, you can't pull that apart. What has been brought together as one flesh and go become, I'm gonna be half of flesh over here with him, and then half of, no, that's confusion.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And well, I know we was one flesh before I'm gonna just go over here and play around, and then when I'm serious, I'm gonna go. No, the Most High not dealing with that, man. That's confusion.
Mm-hmm.
That's nasty. That's an abomination. That's defilement. And the Most High not dealing with that, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High not dealing with that.
Yeah. See, nowadays our people have made the act of intercourse into, and it was going on back then too, but nowadays more than ever, we see the act of intercourse as something that could be done in sport, right? And we don't take it that serious. That is a serious thing that you do when you lay with somebody. That is a serious thing. You're I ain't gonna say you swapping DNA, but you swapping DNA. And the reason why I say I didn't want to say you swapping DNA, because in a lot of cases the man doesn't take the woman's DNA. It happens, but in a lot of cases the man doesn't take the woman's DNA. That's the reason why you'll have more females that have sexually transmitted diseases more so than men, because men put their DNA inside women. Women ain't putting DNA inside men. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, the woman is taking the DNA of the man, right? So that is a serious situation. And then if you get pregnant by the man, his DNA stays with you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
His DNA stays with you the rest of your life if you get pregnant by him. And the reason being because that child, you birth a child, the DNA of that child comes from that man. And it ingrains up in your brain and all type of stuff. A lot of people don't want to hear that because they want to feel like, oh, well, that was in the past. Well, you made decisions in the past that will affect you later on in life, whether it's who you lay with, whether it's what you invested in, regardless of whatever it is, things that you did in the past will affect you in the future.
Right.
So we have to,
and you chose these people.
Right. Right. This
You
applies.
know,
This
we
applies
gotta
to
be
everybody.
honest. It applies
Right.
to everybody, straight up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, I got 2 sons. Hey, I don't have the best relationship with their mom. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we cordial. I can't change who my son's mom is now, right?
Right.
That's the decision I made years ago, right? So hey, it just is what it is. But
nah, King, like, I said that because you said, man, hey, well, that was in the past. You know what I'm saying? How people be, you know how they be.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I'm using myself as an example. You know, things that happened in the past. Hey, we gotta take ownership.
Yep.
We gotta take ownership for the things that happened in the past. So I'm just showing you how detrimental it is to take this seriously when you lay with somebody. It isn't just because Christ came and died and rose again, and now we have grace, don't mean that it's not an abomination to take your woman back after she'd laid with somebody else.
Right.
That's an abomination. That's an abomination. Yeah, you can forgive, but does that mean the abomination? It ain't no more abomination. No, these laws. A lot of times, Israelites do this. Israelites do this a lot of times. We and myself included. You know, first coming into the truth. You know, some things I'm kind of like, you know, biased to or whatever. Like, oh well, we ain't got necessarily worry about that right there. You know what I'm saying? Because we under grace, but we gonna keep these laws. But no, we got to point out these things. You know what I'm saying? We got to point these things out. Okay. All right. So with that being said, no, you cannot take your wife back. Now, like I said, if you decide to take your wife back and she done laid with another man, it's an abomination and it's defilement. And that's between you and the Most High from that point forward. But you're not supposed to do it. Okay. Yes, you're supposed to forgive her, but if Christ didn't come, die, and rise again, if it was before Christ came, died, and rose again, what would she be? She'd be unalived if she did that. She wouldn't be here no more. And that's how you got to treat it. She's not here no more. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're under grace, she's not here no more. You supposed to let that go. Because then too, thinking in a carnal sense, if you let your woman go and sleep with somebody else and you take her back, she's only going to continue to play with you. She's only going to continue to play with you because then you a sucker.
Yeah, man.
Just being real about it. Then you a sucker. Okay. So with their situation, now they're not in the truth. If they was to ask me, is it right what they did? I'm gonna tell them no. But by them not have been in the truth, I wouldn't necessarily condemn them if they stuck it out from that point forward. You see what I'm saying? I would give them the understanding, but I wouldn't condemn them if they done already got back together. Now, if they was talking about it and they didn't get back together, I tell them don't do it.
Right.
But since they already did it and they wasn't in the truth, then I would just, you know what I'm saying, give them wisdom on it, you know, and tell them to keep pushing, keep these commandments.
You think the Most High will wink at it?
Say it again, Ken?
You think the Most High will wink at it?
Will wink at their ignorance?
Yeah,
because they wasn't in the truth. See, if you do this, if you take your spouse back after she did that, right, and you wasn't in the truth, and then you end up coming into the truth, like let's say they come into the truth after the fact, they didn't know what Deuteronomy 24 was talking about. They didn't know that you ain't supposed to take them back. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know that. So yes, I can see the Most High winking at their ignorance. But if you already in the truth and you take your spouse back after knowing that you ain't supposed to, that ain't no ignorance to wink at because you wasn't ignorant. You knew not to do it. You know what I'm saying? So this is serious business, laying with folks. You know what I'm saying? We don't get breaks in marriage. Ain't no break. If it's a break, the break don't ain't no intercourse dealing with nobody else going on. You know what I'm saying? That's not what's happening. Okay. Did y'all have anything else y'all want to speak on with that topic? Okay, got it. All right, cool. Now let's watch this next clip real quick. See what this is talking about. Let's see what she's saying.
Law of Moses. That's what Jesus called it. The law of Moses. When he it about to be some upset sisters in just a second. He says in Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 5, that a woman shall not wear which pertains to a man, and a man shall not wear a woman's garment. All that do so are an abomination unto God. The amount of people that twist and turn this for what they want it to be because they're ignorant is diabolical. Not only that, people cause what is called a vexation of spirit over those who unlearned of the actual truth of God. But you know,
so so the sister said you cause a vexation of spirit because ultimately she's saying you ain't supposed to tell women that they can't wear pants because that's not what the scripture's saying. And she said you cause a vexation of spirit to the people that are unlearned. So what is it? Which one is it? Are you unlearned because you wearing pants and ain't supposed to, or what is it? And causing the vexation of spirit because you bringing out the scripture. But let's keep going. Let's get some more. Let's get some more.
What's funny? People pretend like they are so Old Testament when it comes to the clothing of a woman, but they're not Old Testament when it comes to the commandments of God. If one of the commandments say, "Thou shalt not take the Lord thy God's name in vain," what do you think that means? It means do not use his name in a personal matter for your own understanding. And that's what people do when it comes to Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. And when they add to it and say, that means a woman can't wear pants.
That ain't what that means. Taking his name in vain. What he said? He said, I got a left fist. God, okay. Taking his name in vain don't mean using his name for your own personal. However she put that, But let's keep going.
Do it say that at? It don't say that nowhere. It tells us that a man should not put on women's clothing, and women should not put on men's clothing. We're in a new age. You go to the retail store, where you go into the women's section as a woman, right? And you go into the men's section as a man, right? Because you know that these clothes are for men and those clothes are for women. Why are y'all twisting this around? And to add to that, people.
So her point is you don't see the word pants in Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
Even twist up 1 Timothy 2:9, where it tells women to dress in modest apparel, not costly array of braided hair. Even understanding of that verse tells you that when Paul wrote that letter to Timothy, he told him what the women must wear and must not wear when they are attending the house of God. Why do you think he got specific? Quit misusing scripture to your own understanding, because you are calling God a liar, and he will not hold anybody guiltless that uses his name in vain, okay?
And that's the reason why if you're not studied, you ain't got no business trying to explain scripture if you ain't studied. And then two, it sounds as though she's speaking from a biased standpoint, because she sounds like she's for women wearing pants. Now, of course, there's people in the truth that don't believe that women can't wear pants, and there's those that do believe women can't wear pants. But we about to see what this is talking about. So she said Deuteronomy 22 and 5 ain't talking about it. Let's read that real quick, King. Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
So it's just hard to understand, just without digging off into it real heavy. Is it hard to understand what a woman's garment is that a man can't wear? No, because the first thing that come out of somebody's mouth would be a skirt or a dress, right? That a woman will wear that a man can't wear. That's not hard to understand coming from that route. But then when you say, cool, okay, so what does a woman wear that she ain't supposed to wear that belongs to a man? Now it gets foggy. Now we looking upside the wall. Why is it so easy to pinpoint what a woman wear that a man can't wear, but it's so hard to pinpoint what a woman wearing what a man wears that a woman can't? It's like it just gets foggy and then things get dim. You start seeing everything start turning black on us. It's like we don't know what's going on now. This is just speaking in the carnal sense, like without even digging off into. Come on now, like what is it? Just in the 1900s, in the 20th century, women started wearing pants. In the 20th century, since the beginning of time up until the 20th century, women were not wearing pants. But during World War I, World War II, that's when women really started wearing pants, when they started going into the factories and all that type of stuff, and the feminism stuff started going on. But it wasn't a thing at first, right? Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to Exodus 28 and 42. I told you, hey, look, I told you women was gonna log off. Hey, I don't give a good god dang. We're gonna teach this word. Bring it out. Exodus what's it?
Lock it, King.
Good. Do you think, King?
And just to kind of land me back off of your point, King, I just simply Googled, when did women start wearing pants? And this is what it says. It says women start wearing pants regularly in the 20th century, when the two world wars significantly accelerated their adoption. That's what it says.
Hey, you can't argue with it. You can't argue with it. It just started happening. But now all of a sudden we supposed to act like it didn't just start happening. And it's supposed to, you know, we're not supposed to know this no more. All of a sudden now it's a garment that a woman is supposed to be wearing. And women just started wearing these.
Now I will read the rest because I don't want y'all to be like, hey, he only read part of that. So it says, while women had occasionally worn pants for specific activities like horseback riding or sports in earlier periods, the women of the scripture wouldn't ride no horses by themselves or wasn't playing no sports. It says it was the necessity of women feeling traditionally male roles during the wartime that normalized pants as everyday wear. The feminist movement of the 60s and the 70s further solidified the acceptance of pants as a symbol of female empowerment and liberation.
Right.
Feminism.
So people would,
Feminism, exactly.
right. So people would say, well, that's y'all's perspective on that. That's y'all perspective. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull. Let's show y'all that it's not just perspective. It's what it is, right? Go ahead, go to Exodus 28 and 42. He said, on top of that, every other culture, women wear skirts and dresses, right? But we under the devil in this culture, and the devil and talking about women that it's okay to do that, right? Bring it out, King.
The book of Exodus, chapter 28, verse 42. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach.
It said linen breeches, and matter of fact, let me share my screen real quick. Linen breeches to cover the nakedness. Go to read the verse before that.
Verse 41. And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother and his sons with him.
So
and
put them upon Aaron, thy brother, and his sons, some men, right? Keep reading.
And shalt anoint them and consecrate them and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach.
So, and keep reading, matter of fact.
And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they come into the tabernacle of the congregation. Or when
they should be upon Aaron and his sons, these linen breeches. The breeches must be upon Aaron and his sons, men. Okay. So let me share my screen real quick. You can stop right there, Ken. I'm gonna share my screen real fast. Let's see what's going on with this real quick. All right. Let's see what's going on. God, dog. Hold on. I'm tripping.
3D.
Yeah, I'm tripping. Can y'all see that? Okay. All right, so that was Deuteronomy 20, Exodus 28 and 42. All right, Exodus 28 and 42. And thou shalt make them, let me make this bigger, breeches. All right, matter of fact, let me go back. Okay, so the word there is miknas.
Strong's H, 40 through 70. Mechnas.
All right, cool. So the word there, it says underwear, drawers, trousers, a priestly garment of linen. So first and foremost, all right, let's start at one right here. A priest. Was any of the women priests? No. Right? None of the women are priests. Okay. Now it says underwear, drawers, trousers. Underwear and drawers are underclothes. Trousers. Let's just look up a Google search of trousers. What like
man's garment?
Well, can y'all see that?
God.
These are trousers. These are trousers. The word breeches gives us this for trousers. Trousers. Okay. That's what we see in the definition. It's trousers. That's one of the words. Let's go down some more. In the sense of hiding, notice right here. it says, in the sense of hiding, only dual. Dual meaning 2 legs. 2. Twice. Pants, trousers, drawers. Notice right here in underwear, drawers, and trousers, they have something in common. They have an opening for one leg, and they have an opening for another leg. Everything else is closed off. So that's what it's saying right here in the dual. Drawers, from concealing the private parts. Breeches, which the word breeches comes from. Notice it says, once again, only dual or plural. A dress isn't plural. It's one covering that covers the whole body. A robe isn't plural. It's one covering that covers the whole body. Trousers, drawers, breeches is plural. One leg at a time. Connection with above. Obscure, derives, cover up, hide. Okay. Let's see. Only in plural or dual construct. It says breeches of the Hebrew priests, so called from their hiding and concealing their nakedness. Okay. Notice it said the Hebrew priests are supposed to be wearing the breeches. All right. So that was Exodus 28 and 42 we read. Exodus 39, 28. That's still talking about the priests. The priest, Leviticus 6 and 10. He shall put on the holy. This is Leviticus 16, 4. He shall put on the holy linen coat. It's still talking about the priest. All this is talking about the priest. Okay, so then the sister said, and before I continue, this is the trousers. Let's get it. Let me see let me get a definition of trousers. I ain't even okay. It says an outer garment covering the body from the waist to the ankles with a separate part for each leg. With a separate part for each leg. Early 17th century from archaic singular from Irish truths. Okay. Okay, so it says see truths on the pattern of drawers. So trousers is an outer garment that covers it's a separate part for each leg. And that goes along with the word or part of the definition for the word breeches, which is breeches. Okay, so we're not, there's brothers that teach that this is talking about war garments, and it don't say war garment nowhere in there. It don't even say war garment in there. This ain't no war garment. This is a garment. The priest wasn't going to war wearing this. Matter of fact, verse Exodus 39 and 28. Matter of fact, go back to Exodus 28 and read that in verse let me see, 43.
The book of Exodus, chapter 28, verse 43. You said 43?
Uh-huh.
And they shall be upon Aaron and his sons when they come in unto the tabernacle of the congregation.
When they come in where?
Into the tabernacle of the congregation.
Not going to war, but to the tabernacle of the congregation. These are not war garments. These are not war garments. These are trousers. These are breeches. Okay, in this particular sense, this was talking about the breeches or talking about underwear in this particular sense. But trousers are a longer form of these breeches. Okay, so this is not a war garment. This is a garment for men. Okay, let me go ahead and. This is a garment that men should be wearing. Okay. Now, let's say, and I mean, I'm gonna ask y'all, did what we just showed, does that look like that's my perspective? Like I read what was there. That's not my perspective. We're not giving our perspective on what it said. It says what it says, right? It says what it says. Now, okay, so women ain't got no business wearing pants. Okay. Now, brothers, if you have a wife, matter of fact, before I even say that, hold on one second. Let me see. Let's see. Go to go to Matthew 5:28. Go to Matthew 5:28, King. So, brothers, if you got a wife, you know, the brothers do have a wife, and then if you don't, when you get a wife, I'm gonna ask y'all this question. If your wife put on pants, or you allow your wife to wear pants, right? Because there's some brothers that don't necessarily agree with the whole women not wearing pants things. Okay, cool. But your woman, you decide to let your wife wear pants. Read what you got, King.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 28. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
If you decide to let your woman wear pants, right? And really, you can easily say, well, it ain't gonna be no baggy, it ain't gonna be no tight pants, it's pants. If you let your woman wear pants because you don't necessarily agree that she don't have to wear that she can't wear pants, and you cause your brother to go off and stumble because it said what? Read that again.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
That brother is that brother's blood is on your hands. You causing your brother to go off. If you cause your brother to go off, whether you the woman or the husband that's allowing his woman to do this, that brother's blood is on your hands, because at the end of the day, you're tempting that brother to look upon your woman. Pants tend to show the shape and form of a woman's body. And a brother could be trying to live upright, but you saying, no, it's cool, baby. You can wear them pants. But you don't know what that brother over there dealing with. You don't know how hard that brother might be battling lust. And you letting your woman wear pants, coming around brothers, showing her figure and her form, and then you expecting brothers to be righteous, but you being a hindrance by bringing your woman around with these goddamn pants on because you don't think there's nothing wrong with it. And you got this brother's blood on your hands. If that brother go out and mess up because he been looking at your wife, so people say, well, don't be looking. Do you hear you? Do you hear you? That's like expecting a crackhead that's trying to beat the habit. You set a crack rock right there in front of him and tell him, don't touch it. Don't look at it. Right? You expecting. Go ahead, King.
Isn't that brother trimming his ways to find love if he went allowing his, because he totally going against the Most High. He being disobedient. So he trimming his ways to appease his wife or to appease himself. So he going completely off already on that right there.
That's a good point, King. That's a good point. Was that Jeremiah 23? Let me see.
I think it's Jeremiah 2.
Jeremiah 2 and 23. Or the 2 and 33.
2 and 33.
Time.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore, that hast thou also taught a wicked ones thy ways. So if he got that woman wearing pants, that's what he doing. He going completely off, and he making her go off. And as Ottawa brought out, you gonna bring that wicked upon other brothers. So that's a ripple effect, man. A wicked ripple effect.
See, and that's good. I'm glad you brought that out, King. That's a good point, because in the world, sisters will use the excuse of, because people would tell sisters in the world, don't dress a certain type of way, and you won't get the wrong attention. And they'll say, well, they need to control themselves. They need to not look then, right? But when you come into the truth, understand this. Coming into the truth, you don't come into the truth for self anymore. What we do in the truth, it's not about self anymore. Of course, you want to achieve salvation, but do you achieve salvation by yourself? No, we leave captivity as a nation. We leave and get salvation as a nation. So it's not just about you anymore. It's about building your brothers and sisters up. What the Lord blesses you with, you're supposed to bless the nation with. The wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the resources, everything. What the Lord blesses me with is not just for me. I just told the brother this the other day. The Most High blesses me. This is everything. This is not just for me. Of course, I benefit from what he blesses me with. My family benefits from what he blesses me with. But this is for me to help my people in the best way I can. If I get more, if I gain more money, I try to figure out ways I can produce and help others in the nation. If I gain more wisdom, I try to teach others in the nation. What I gain from the Most High is not just for me no more, because I'm a servant of the Most High, which will mean I'm a servant for his people, right? And with that being said, the way you move, you have to consider your people with the way you move. With the way you talk, you have to consider your people. It's not about you. Because you're comfortable, you make others uncomfortable? No. You have to consider others. Let's go to Matthew 22 real quick. Matthew 22 real fast. 22 and 37.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 37. Yahushua said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. If you love your neighbor like you love yourself, that means the same treatment that you would want, you got to give. If you battle with something, right? If you battle with something and you don't want nobody to, for instance, let's say you used to be a weed smoker. And let's say while let's say you don't got over that to the point where it's not a temptation anymore. But let's say while you was trying to get that out your system and you didn't want to be around it, you didn't want people around you that smelled like that. You didn't want people to smoke it around you. You didn't want to see it or nothing because it was going to tempt you. Why wouldn't you have that same consideration for your brothers pertaining to these pants or anything in your life? If you love your neighbor as yourself, you're going to take in consideration others around you. It's not about you no more. Unless you're just saying that you exempt from loving your neighbor as yourself. Right? So at the end of the day, I'm saying this. When breeches are you can consider breeches as men's underwear and trousers, pants. Okay? Based on what we just saw. Okay? And it's not, I didn't give my opinion. I showed y'all on the screen what it was. I don't understand how people still be going and finding other stuff, finding other reasons to believe it's not. We seen it clear as day on the screen. We just haven't done a lesson on pants because we kind of already have the understanding to a degree, you know what I'm saying, what it is. But we just had to make it clear that it says what it says. It says what it says, and you know, it's not a guessing game, right?
Can I bring out one more point?
Your thing, King.
With Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, it's just a small point. You know, I understand the sister is unlearned because she don't keep no commandments. But, you know, this whole precept is heavy, but the most scariest part is at the end, the abomination to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you really should hang your hat on right there. Be like, that right there, the word abomination alone to the Most High should scare you right there. You know,
On
like, no, she ain't gonna wear no pants. She should know that she ain't gonna wear no pants. That pride should just be shredded off of her just for that sentence right there alone.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Yeah, that's an abomination. Go to Leviticus 19:27. Because there's a reason why he says that in Deuteronomy 22:5. He wants to make a clear distinction between the men and the women. When you see a man from a distance, the way the Most High wants it, he wants that man to look like a man. When you see this man from a distance, you already know this is a man. You ain't got to see their face up close and all that. You know from a distance this is a man. When they walk past, you know this is a man. And vice versa with a woman.
You can't tell the difference no more.
But from the distance, let's say you got a skinny man and a skinny woman that's married, husband and wife, and they both got on pants, or a big woman and a big man both got on pants, walking down the sidewalk. From a distance, you don't know which one which, because they both wearing the same thing. Read that Leviticus 19:27, King.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh.
You stop right there.
Okay. Slap.
That's an example of making a clear distinction. He didn't want us to shave our beards off our faces. What does that do? That makes a clear distinction. Ain't no woman got no full beard on the face. Right? Just like the law that says don't mingle seeds when you plant your garden, right? Or don't mingle don't have mixed fabrics, right? He wants separation, a clear distinction of each thing, right? So go to 1 Corinthians 6:9. So I'm gonna make a point with this, and then I'm gonna yield on this topic.
Yeah, come out of line.
You good, Ken? Let's see. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 6:9.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor effeminate.
So it said no effeminate. If a man puts on a woman's dress, that would be him being effeminate, cross-dressing, right? Now we got to look at it. We can't not put two and two together and use our head when it comes to the women. So if a woman put on men's pants, then that creates a masculine spirit on her, right? People say, no, it don't. Okay, so then how don't it? Well, she would have to be wearing some tight pants, right? That look like they're made for women, right? But you're supposed to have a wife that's supposed to be living according to the scriptures, and you allowing this? Or are you a sister that's supposed to be living according to scriptures, and you doing this? Come on, bro. There's no excuse. Ain't no way around it. Okay? So once again, let me see. Once again, consider your brothers and sisters. All right, consider your brothers when it comes to how you dress, sisters. Even if you still don't believe that you don't have to wear pants, even though we just showed what it was. Even if you still don't believe that you don't, you're even if you still believe that you can wear pants, consider your brothers, and brothers, consider your brothers when it comes to your wife. Okay. All right. You don't know what brothers be dealing with. You don't know how weak brothers are. Okay. So keep that in mind. Go ahead, Ken.
This ain't a precept or nothing. I was just saying, like, our sisters are the only ones. I say this a lot to our sisters, that our sisters are the only ones on the planet with a dress code. None of the other women on the planet have a dress code except our women.
Right.
Our women were given a strict commandment with the dress code. That's all.
Right. And we supposed to be separating ourselves and looking different than everybody else, right? You supposed to be separating ourselves. So why are we trying to look like them? Matter of fact, let's go to I got another precept. Let's go to Romans 14. Romans 14 and 13.
The book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather let me read that over. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
Don't create a stumbling block for your brother, right? Now people say, well, it says don't judge. Now you can't say don't wear pants. It says don't judge. 1 Corinthians 6:1. It says if you have a matter, go to law. You read it. If you have a matter, go to law. Right? The law said we just went through the law. Deuteronomy 22:5. That's in the law. Exodus 28. That's the law. But anyway, it says, therefore, it says, but judge this rather that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. Consider your brethren. Consider your people. Okay. All right. Y'all got anything else on that topic?
All
right, calm. All right, let me so let's go to this real quick. Now, this video right here. This is Bishop Nathaniel. Okay. Let's go to 2 John 7 real quick. He pointing something out in this video, and we're about to elaborate on that point. Go to 2 John 7 and read that.
2 John 7. For many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Yahushua Christ is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist.
It's an antichrist. Someone, it says, who confess not that Yahushua HaMashiach has come in the flesh. Okay, so that flesh would have to have been a color. Yahushua's flesh had to have been a color. People say, well, its color don't matter. It matters. The flesh had to have been a color. It says, for many deceivers are into the world who confess not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh. So it's not that's not only saying that they just deny him that he came. It's saying deny that he came in the flesh. Because if you don't believe that Christ is a black man, you believe that he's a white man, then you're not believing on the Christ of the Bible. You're not believing on him as scripture said, right? Now, watch this. Let's play this video real quick. Watch this.
King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist.
Hold on, man. I'm tripping. Hold up.
King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. That's the white man.
So he said that the king of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. He pointed the white man. Watch this.
I've been telling y'all the Antichrist is the white man for years. You Christians have a lack of faith. You don't believe nothing we tell you. Even when we show you in the scriptures. Now we're showing you with ancient archaeology. Our fathers always knew the white man is Antichrist. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I was watching this and I'm like, he just throwing that out there, just saying that, right? Now this is an old painting. But watch this.
Please. Look at this. 46. Envoys of the Antichrist preaching before the kings of Libya and Ethiopia.
You see that? It says envoys of the Antichrist preaching before the kings of Libya and Ethiopia. Watch this. So let me share my screen. Watch this. Because I pulled this up. I was trying to find out if that was a book or what. And so I pulled this up. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Envoys of the Antichrist. Let's see. This painting was in 1440. Okay, so they won't let me. This is the only way I can blow it up, by doing it like this. So you see over to the right, these are the Moors. And just so y'all know, Moors were Israelites that were converted to Islam. So notice it said, here's the title: Envoys of the Antichrist. The Antichrist is preaching before the kings of Libya and Ethiopia. Right? It says the Antichrist is preaching. Do you see this right here? That halo around his head. Y'all see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he must be preaching Christianity. He got to be preaching Christianity if he got that halo, because I went to, let me see, hold on. Let me see. Halo. A disc or circle of lights shown surrounding or above the head of a saint or a holy person to represent their holiness. Right? So it's supposed to be a holy person that has a halo. Okay. So they got halos on. So they come preaching. They came preaching to the kings of Libya and Ethiopia. All right. Let me get back to the clip.
"46. Oh, he's 46. Let's go back. Ah, envoys of kings before the Antichrist preaching. The Antichrist preaching. Do y'all see this? Do you see this? Well, I really don't know how to help you. I'm gonna go back to this one. King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. 47.
So it said the king of the Moors.
All the way down. I started up here, but I didn't go. There's the king there with the Moors. There's the Antichrist, but I didn't go down when it says that he submitted to him. He
submitted to the Antichrist, to the white man with the halo around his head. Is calling him the Antichrist. This is a 1400. This is a painting in the 1400s. Calling the white man the Antichrist. That's preaching Christianity.
Look, and they took the crown off his head.
That's how our people feel, man. That's how the Moors got tricked and deceived and conquered. The white man's craft.
That's what the white man does. The white man and his false prophet. The beast and the false prophet. Oh boy, Christianity, democracy.
So let me go to. Let me see. Let me go.
Man, Ottawa, you be finding some heavy stuff, man.
Man, I be digging, man. Let me see. King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. Yeah, see, when I try to click on the picture, which is things like right here, I try to click on it to blow it up. They won't let me do it. But I've gone to other pictures. Like you go to other images, they'll let you blow them up. But these right here, calling these folks Antichrist, they won't let you blow it up. So I gotta blow it up on my, on my screen like this. But look, this the king of, it says king of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. That's That's the description of this photo or this picture. And he's taking the crown off his head to give it to the Antichrist, which is and look, he got blonde hair. They got blonde hair. This is so when we read 2 John 7, it said, "For many deceivers are entered into the world who confess not that Yahushua HaMashiach is coming in the flesh." So basically, they try to tell you. Basically, that's them saying or present to you this white Jesus. That's ultimately what it's saying. It's not people that don't necessarily believe that he ever existed. It's basically them promoting a white Jesus. That's an Antichrist, and the doctrine that the white Jesus pushes. This ain't words of Bishop Nathaniel. That's what the title of the picture says. King of the Moors submitting to the Antichrist. We're not making this up. This is in creation date 1440 to 1450 on parchment paper.
What's that coin he got in his hand?
Coin?
Is that a real coin?
You talking about on that video with Bishop Nathaniel?
Yeah, the one that's up under the bottom.
Right there?
Yeah, the coin.
Oh, I think somebody made that picture up.
Oh, he made that coin. Oh, he made that. Oh,
okay. Whoever posted this video, I think they put that right there. You know what I'm saying? But let's see.
Remove kings and put kings in that they want. That's what America does. Y'all keep playing. You better get with this. These parables been trying to share with y'all. Open your understanding.
So these ancient pictures, paintings, ultimately what they was telling the truth. Nowadays is everything's hidden. You have to go back and look at these old pictures. You have to go back and look at this old knowledge. They took the Apocrypha out the Bible around 1850 something, 1860, something like that. Right? It's like you got to go back and get this. You got to go back and see what books was in the KJV 1611. You got to go back before the times of America, because that's when everything started changing up. Okay. Did y'all have anything else?
nah.
Con. Well, family, we thank y'all for joining us. Okay. Catch us next week, same time, same place, Lord willing. Okay. And if y'all have any questions, feel free, feel free to ask questions. However, if you part of the body, you can hit me up, whatever, ask questions, or jump on the class. You can throw your questions in the comments or whatever. Okay. But hey, thank y'all for joining us. We want to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Hey, Shalom, family.
So long.